The power of attitude. Introduction. Welcome to Linguising. I am Jamie Walker, and today we will explore a topic that shapes the way we live, the way we face challenges, and the way we connect with the world, the power of attitude. Attitude is more than a mood. It is a lens that colors how we see life. It influences how we respond to difficulties and how we treat opportunities. Without the right attitude, even the brightest chances may slip through our fingers. When we look at nature, we see powerful lessons. The lion is not the largest animal in the jungle, and the eagle is not the fastest bird in the sky, yet both are recognized as symbols of strength and leadership. They are respected not for size or speed, but for the way they carry themselves. Their courage, focus, and determination elevate them above creatures that may be stronger or faster. What sets them apart is not ability, it is attitude. This is the same principle that applies to our own lives. We may not always have the greatest resources, the highest education, or the strongest connections. But what we always have is the ability to choose our attitude. That choice is what gives us resilience in the face of difficulty and vision in moments of uncertainty. Attitude is not about pretending that life is easy. It is about refusing to let challenges define who we are. Across this episode, we will look at 12 powerful principles that explain how attitude shapes our world. These principles will show why your mindset matters more than talent, more than knowledge, and more than circumstances. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond to it. And it is in that response that your character and your future are defined. So stay with me until the very end, because these 12 rules are not abstract theories. They are practical, lived truths. They will guide you to think differently, to act with more strength, and to face life with dignity and clarity. Just as the lion and the eagle embody greatness through attitude, you too can rise above your challenges by choosing the way you see and respond to them. Rule 1. Attitude shapes your world. The way you see the world often becomes the way you experience it. If you carry a negative attitude, even the smallest challenges can feel heavy and overwhelming. On the other hand, when you choose to see possibilities, difficulties turn into lessons, and setbacks turn into opportunities for growth. Attitude does not erase problems, but it changes how you deal with them. Think of two people facing the same storm. One curses the rain and hides, while the other sees it as water for future harvests. The storm is the same, but their experiences are entirely different. This is how attitude shapes your world. It frames the meaning you give to what happens around you. What you focus on becomes the reality you live in. Your attitude also affects the people around you. A hopeful outlook can encourage others, while a constant complaint can drain their energy. In many ways, attitude is contagious. It spreads silently through your tone, your words, and your presence. When you carry yourself with strength and calm, others feel safer and more inspired in your company. The truth is, you cannot always change your environment, but you can always change the way you approach it. This is why two people in the same situation can have completely different outcomes. One might give up, while the other finds a way forward simply because of the attitude they chose to adopt. The external world does not decide your life as much as your inner perspective does. So, if you want your world to change, start by changing the way you see it. Shift your attitude from complaint to gratitude, from fear to courage, from doubt to possibility. You may not notice the difference immediately, but over time, this shift will transform not only your experiences but also the opportunities that come to you. Attitude is the seed from which your world grows. Rule 2. Attitude is more important than talent. Talent is valuable, but by itself, it is never enough. History is filled with talented people who never reached their potential because they lacked the right mindset. On the other hand, Countless ordinary individuals have achieved extraordinary things simply because they carried discipline, focus, and resilience in their attitude. Talent may open a door, but attitude determines whether you stay inside or walk back out. Imagine a gifted athlete who refuses to train or a brilliant student who avoids effort. Their natural ability might give them an advantage in the beginning, but sooner or later their lack of consistency will show. Meanwhile, someone with less talent but stronger determination will continue to improve and eventually move ahead. In the long run, attitude always outweighs natural ability. Your attitude shapes how you use your talent. A positive, determined outlook makes you practice harder, learn faster, and recover quicker from mistakes. Without the right attitude, talent becomes wasted potential. With the right attitude, even a small amount of ability can grow into something powerful. It is also important to understand that talent is often something you are born with, but attitude is always a choice. You may not control your natural gifts, but you can control how you approach challenges and opportunities. Every day you have the chance to decide whether you will show up with laziness or with energy, with doubt or with belief. That decision is far more important than talent alone, so do not worry if you feel you are not the most gifted in the room. What matters more is your willingness to learn, to adapt, and to keep moving forward with a strong spirit. Talent may impress people for a moment, but attitude is what earns respect and creates lasting impact. In the end, it is not what you have, it is how you carry yourself that truly defines your path. Rule 3. Attitude gives you power in adversity. Life will never be free of hardship. Challenges, disappointments, and unexpected changes are all part of the human journey. But what separates those who break under pressure from those who rise is not the size of the challenge, it is the attitude they bring into the moment. Attitude becomes a source of power when everything else feels uncertain. Consider a person who loses their job. One may see it as the end of their stability, falling into despair and hopelessness. Another may choose to see it as an opportunity to grow, to learn new skills, or even to build a new path. The same event, experienced differently, produces entirely different outcomes. The difference lies not in the circumstance, but in the perspective. Adversity has a way of revealing what lies within us. It strips away comfort and convenience, leaving only character and attitude. A resilient outlook allows you to stay calm in chaos, to focus on what can be done instead of what has been lost. In this way, attitude turns adversity into a training ground rather than a graveyard. This does not mean pretending pain does not exist. It means acknowledging the pain while still choosing to move forward. It means saying, "This is hard, but I will not let it define me." When your attitude remains steady in adversity, you discover strength you did not know you had. Often the greatest growth comes from the toughest seasons, so when adversity arrives, and it will, remember that your power lies in your response. You cannot always control the storm, but you can decide how you will stand in the rain. With the right attitude, even the darkest moment can become the beginning of something new. Adversity is not the end of the story. With courage, it can become the turning point. Rule 4. Attitude creates opportunities. Opportunities are not always something you wait for. They are often something you create. A person with the right attitude sees chances where others only see problems. They treat setbacks as lessons, conversations as possibilities, and every small door as a step towards something greater. This proactive outlook turns ordinary moments into opportunities for growth and connection. Think of a workplace environment. Two employees might face the same challenge, a project that suddenly becomes complicated. One complains, avoids responsibility, and waits for someone else to fix it. The other approaches it with curiosity and determination, offering solutions instead of excuses. Very often, the second person is noticed, trusted, and given more opportunities not because they were more skilled, but because of their attitude. Attitude has the power to attract people. When you carry positivity, energy, and a willingness to learn, others want to work with you. People are naturally drawn to those who bring light instead of negativity. This does not mean ignoring difficulties, but rather approaching them with the belief that there is always a way forward. That belief itself opens doors that might remain closed to others. Even in uncertain times, attitude can make opportunities visible. Where one person sees a dead end, another sees a new direction. For example, losing a job might seem like a disaster, but it can also lead to building a business, pursuing education, or discovering hidden passions. The key is not the event itself, but the way you choose to interpret it. So if you feel opportunities are scarce, look first at your attitude. Ask yourself whether you are approaching life with openness, curiosity, and courage, or with fear and complaint. More often than not, the difference between a missed chance and a new beginning is the mindset you bring into the moment. Attitude does not guarantee opportunity, but it prepares you to see and seize it when it arrives. Rule 5. Attitude inspires others. Your attitude does not stay with you alone. It influences everyone around you. A single person's outlook can change the atmosphere of an entire room. When you choose to carry hope, patience, and strength, others feel it, even without you saying a word. In this way, your attitude becomes a form of silent leadership. Think of a team facing a difficult project. If one member constantly complains, the negativity spreads quickly and discourages the group. But if another member remains calm and focused, encouraging the team to keep going, the energy shifts. The situation has not changed, but the spirit of the group has, simply because of one person's attitude. Inspiring others is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about showing courage in the middle of imperfection. When people see you handle setbacks with dignity or face challenges with determination, they feel motivated to do the same. Your attitude gives them permission to rise above their own doubts. This is why leaders are remembered less for their words and more for the way they carried themselves in tough times. A leader who shows kindness, fairness, and resilience teaches others to adopt the same qualities. Even in small roles, your attitude can inspire colleagues, friends, or family members. Inspiration is not about position, it is about presence. So the next time you face difficulty, remember that people are watching, not to judge, but to learn. Your attitude might be the reason someone else finds strength to keep going. By choosing to carry yourself with positivity and integrity, you do more than help yourself. You light a path for others. That is the true power of an inspiring attitude. Rule 6. Attitude shapes relationships. Relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on the energy we bring into them. A kind, open, and respectful attitude creates space for trust, while negativity or arrogance slowly breaks connections. The way you treat others often reflects the way they respond to you. Attitude becomes the invisible thread that holds relationships together or pulls them apart. Consider two friends who face a disagreement. One responds with anger and stubbornness, refusing to listen, while the other approaches with patience and understanding. The outcome of their conflict depends less on the disagreement itself and more on the attitude they bring to the conversation. A respectful attitude opens the door to healing, while a harsh one closes it tightly. The same principle applies in professional settings. An employee who approaches colleagues with cooperation and humility is more likely to build lasting partnerships than someone who focuses only on personal gain. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel valued and respected. Attitude, more than words, communicates whether you see others as partners or as obstacles. It is also important to remember that relationships are not tested in easy times, but in difficult ones. When stress is high and patience runs low, your attitude becomes the deciding factor. Do you choose empathy or do you choose blame? The way you respond in those moments often defines the long-term strength of the bond. So if you want stronger, healthier relationships, begin by checking the spirit you bring into them. A gentle smile, a willingness to listen, and a forgiving heart often do more than long speeches or promises. Attitude shapes the foundation of every relationship, and with the right one, even fragile connections can grow into something lasting and meaningful. Rule 7. Attitude drives growth. Growth in life rarely happens by accident. It comes from the choices we make, the risks we take, and the mindset we bring into every situation. A closed attitude keeps us stuck, but an open one allows us to learn, adapt, and move forward. In this way, attitude becomes the engine that drives personal and professional development. Think of learning a new skill. Someone who says, "This is too hard, I can't do it," has already limited their growth before they even begin. Meanwhile, another person with a curious and patient attitude will keep trying even through mistakes and setbacks. The difference between these two people is not intelligence, but the willingness to stay open and persistent. Attitude also determines how we view feedback and correction. A defensive mindset treats feedback as criticism, while a growth-oriented attitude sees it as guidance. Those who welcome correction often improve faster and build stronger abilities. By shifting your perspective, you can turn challenges and even failures into powerful lessons. It is important to remember that growth is not always fast or easy. Some seasons feel like slow progress, and others feel like constant struggle. But with the right attitude, you can recognize that even small steps are still steps forward. Patience and perseverance become natural when your attitude stays focused on learning rather than perfection. So, if you want to grow, begin by adjusting your outlook. Approach each challenge with curiosity instead of fear, and each mistake with reflection instead of shame. The attitude you carry will determine not just how much you grow, but also how much you enjoy the journey. Growth is less about the destination and more about the mindset that carries you along the way. Rule 8. Attitude builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to keep going when life becomes heavy, uncertain, or painful. It is not about avoiding struggle, but about rising again after being knocked down. At the heart of resilience lies attitude, the belief that setbacks do not have the final word. With the right outlook, challenges become temporary pauses rather than permanent endings. Consider a person facing repeated rejection in their career. One might give up after a few attempts, convinced that the world is against them. Another, with a resilient attitude, sees each rejection as feedback, a step closer to the right opportunity. The event is the same, but the way they choose to interpret it determines their ability to endure. Attitude builds resilience by shaping the story you tell yourself. If you believe every obstacle is proof of failure, your strength will fade quickly. But if you believe each difficulty carries a lesson, you will find energy to continue. This inner narrative matters more than external circumstances because it directs your response to pressure. Resilience also grows through gratitude and perspective. A grateful attitude allows you to see what remains even when much is lost. Perspective helps you remember that storms eventually pass and that no difficult season lasts forever. These attitudes give your spirit the strength to wait, endure, and rebuild. So, when life feels overwhelming, remember that resilience is not found outside, it is built within. The challenges will come, but your response decides whether they will break you or make you stronger. With a steady and hopeful attitude, you can transform hardship into endurance and pain into strength. Resilience is not simply surviving. It is choosing to rise again with courage. Rule 9: attitude shapes your identity. Your identity is not only formed by your background, education, or achievements, it is deeply shaped by your attitude. The way you think, speak, and approach life becomes part of how people see you and how you see yourself. Over time, your repeated choices of attitude create patterns, and those patterns become your character. In this way, attitude is not temporary. It defines who you are becoming. Think of someone known for their kindness. It is not a single act that gives them this identity, but a consistent attitude of compassion shown in many small moments. In the same way, a person who always complains becomes known for negativity, whether they intend it or not. Your daily outlook writes your reputation more clearly than any title or position. Attitude also determines the story you tell yourself about who you are. If you constantly carry doubt, you may begin to believe you are incapable. But if you approach life with confidence and curiosity, you begin to see yourself as capable of growth and change. Identity is built not only by what happens to you, but by how you choose to interpret those experiences. This shaping of identity through attitude also influences the opportunities and relationships that come your way. People are naturally drawn to those who carry warmth, hope, and resilience. In contrast, they often avoid those who spread bitterness or hostility. In many ways, the way others identify you is a reflection of the spirit you consistently bring into the world. So, if you want to shape a stronger identity, start with your attitude. Decide what kind of person you want to be remembered as, and let your daily outlook reflect that choice. Your words, your actions, and your responses are all bricks in the building of your identity. With the right attitude, you shape not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. Rule 10: attitude shapes your future. The future is not built only by plans or resources. It is guided by the attitude you carry each day. Your outlook shapes the decisions you make, the risks you take, and the opportunities you notice. A hopeful and determined attitude points you toward growth, while a negative and fearful one limits what you can achieve. In many ways, your tomorrow is a reflection of the choices you make today. Think of two students starting their studies in the same program. One approaches every challenge with doubt, saying, "This is too hard for me." The other approaches the same tasks with curiosity, saying, "I may not know this yet, but I can learn." Over time, the difference in their future becomes clear, not because of ability, but because of attitude. Attitude also decides how you handle setbacks along the way. Every path to the future will include delays, disappointments, and moments of failure. Those who give up when things get difficult often stop short of reaching their potential. But those who continue with resilience and faith transform challenges into stepping stones toward their vision. Your future is shaped not only by what you hope for, but by what you consistently practice. A disciplined attitude makes you steady, a grateful one keeps you grounded, and a bold one pushes you to explore new paths. These daily choices slowly build the foundation of the life ahead. What seems small today can become decisive tomorrow. So if you want to shape a future worth living, begin by shaping your outlook. Train your mind to look for possibilities instead of excuses, to see growth instead of limits, and to focus on progress instead of fear. The road may not be predictable, but your attitude will always guide your steps. In truth, the future belongs not to those with the easiest path, but to those with the strongest spirit. Rule 11: attitude shapes your legacy. Legacy is not built only through achievements or possessions. It is built through the way you live and the spirit you leave behind. Long after people forget your titles or your wealth, they will remember how you treated them, how you carried yourself, and how you faced challenges. Attitude, more than anything else, is what shapes the memory of your life. It becomes the silent echo that lingers after you are gone. Consider leaders, mentors, or even family members you admire. You may not remember every word they said, but you remember the way their presence made you feel. A patient teacher leaves behind a legacy of encouragement. A kind neighbor is remembered for generosity and warmth. In each case, the legacy is not about position, but about consistent attitude. Attitude also determines how people tell your story. If you carried bitterness, they may describe you as difficult. If you carried compassion, they will speak of you as someone who lifted others. Every interaction adds a line to the story people will tell about you, whether you realize it or not. Your daily outlook slowly writes the book of your legacy. The most powerful legacies are built quietly through everyday choices. A smile given to a stranger, a word of encouragement shared at the right time, or calmness shown in a storm. These small attitudes leave marks deeper than grand gestures. Over time, these consistent acts become the defining picture of your life. So ask yourself, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Do you want to be remembered for complaints, or for courage, for indifference, or for kindness? The answer lies not in a distant future, but in your daily choices today. Attitude shapes legacy, and with the right spirit, you can leave behind a memory that continues to inspire long after your time. Rule 12. Attitude is a daily choice. Every morning, before the world speaks to you, you make a choice about how you will face the day. That choice is your attitude. You cannot always decide what events will come your way, but you can decide how you will respond to them. This is why attitude is not fixed. It is renewed every day, moment by moment. Many people think attitude is shaped only by personality, but in reality it is shaped by practice. Choosing patience, kindness, or determination is like exercising a muscle. The more often you do it, the stronger it becomes. This means that even on difficult days, you can choose to stand with courage instead of fear. Think of the difference between starting the day with gratitude and starting it with complaint. One gives you energy, the other steals it. One opens your eyes to possibility, the other blinds you to opportunity. That single choice sets the tone not only for your morning, but often for everything that follows. It is also important to remember that no one chooses the right attitude perfectly every day. There will be moments of frustration, weakness, or doubt. But what matters is not perfection, it is persistence. Each time you recognize a negative outlook, you have the power to shift it. In this way, every day becomes a new chance to realign yourself. So as you move forward, remember that your attitude is always in your hands. No one else can choose it for you, and no situation can fully take it away. Treat it as your most valuable tool, because it will determine how you face life's challenges and how you enjoy its gifts. Attitude is not just a feeling. It is a daily decision that defines who you are becoming. Final thoughts. As we reach the end of this episode, it is clear that attitude is not just a detail in life, it is the foundation that shapes everything else. It determines how you see challenges, how you treat opportunities, and how you connect with people. More than talent, more than knowledge, your outlook guides the path you walk every day. The spirit you carry within you quietly writes the story of your life. Attitude is also something deeply personal, because it is the one choice no one can take from you. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can decide how you respond. In that decision lies the difference between bitterness and growth, between giving up and moving forward. It is this daily choice that slowly builds your character and your future. So, if there is one reminder to take with you today, let it be this: your attitude is your greatest power. It can turn obstacles into lessons, silence into preparation, and hardship into resilience. Carry it with care, and it will carry you through every season of life. In the end, the quality of your journey is not shaped by the world itself, but by the way you choose to face it. Now, I would love to hear your voice in this conversation. What does attitude mean to you, and how has it shaped your journey so far? Maybe there was a time when a positive outlook helped you move forward, or perhaps you learned an important lesson from a challenging season. Share your thoughts and stories in the comment section, because your perspective might be the encouragement someone else needs today. This space is not just about listening, it is about connecting and learning from one another. Every comment adds another layer of insight, and together we create a community built on reflection and growth. So take a moment, write your thoughts, and join the dialogue. I'll be reading through your responses, and I look forward to continuing this exchange with all of you.